Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Yellowjackets Hive After Dark. I am Media Melanie here with...
And I'm Emily.
And we have a very special episode tonight, as we just saw in Yellowjackets episode 204, Old Wounds, Javi Martinez lives. Who had that on their bingo card? Did you, Emily?
Honestly, I go back and forth. I went back and forth. I wanted him to be alive 100%, but the logical part of my brain was telling me that it just wasn't possible. So I was thoroughly surprised and I was really happy about it.
Yes, and to talk more about Javi, we have Luciano Leroux joining us in the Hive.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Hey, we're great.
Hello.
Thanks you so much.
Me. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. So, Javi's alive. Why don't you tell us about the last few days and how people have been reacting and reaching out to you with this big news?
Yeah, right. Well, obviously everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people thought that I was dead. And even for me, it was kind of a shock when I got the script that I was alive in 204. I was like, wait, because, I didn't get anything about Javi for 201, 202, and 203. So I was like, yeah, I'm alive. And I have gotten a lot of, comments from my friends at school. A lot of my family members were like, yeah, he's alive. And it's just been crazy, also on Instagram, and just a bunch of people being so happy about the character. And it just, as an actor, makes me feel good and makes me feel very, very good,
Yeah, for sure.
Yes. So we've been doing something called Yellowjackets Would You Rather, where we pick something from each episode and would you rather each other or a cast member, as it will this episode. Emily, why don't you would you rather Luciano?
Okay, so in this episode, we see Natalie. She puts a goldfish in her mouth at one point. And we also see Lottie. She slices the palm of her hand to give a blood sacrifice. So would you rather put a live goldfish in your mouth, or would you rather slice your palm and give a blood sacrifice?
That's a pretty extreme question. I don't think I would willingly cut myself. So I would choose the goldfish for sure. It's just going to be in there for a couple seconds, not actually the pain,
Like an open wound, right?
Yeah, no way. Yeah, she's crazy. But definitely the goldfish, 100%.
All right. Perfect. Well, hey, before we get into some of our questions, we wanted to bring on a friend of the podcast and Yellowjackets cosplay queen, Kaylee. She wanted to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Hello. So I have a question on how you kept the secret of your reveal. The show has been pretty careful about how they reveal the different information and the Easter eggs. There's been a couple spoilers, but they've been pretty careful about that. But I didn't really hear anything about a spoiler on if you were alive or not until we saw you. Was there a lot of instructions on how to manage your social media, or were you able to tell anybody that you were alive, or was it just kind of like your own secret? How did you handle that?
A lot of it was common sense. I wouldn't post on social media, hey guys, Javi's alive. Stay tuned for episode 204 coming out tomorrow. Obviously, no, I wouldn't put that. I was able to tell my family and really, really close friends.
Right.
Yeah, they would have found out anyways, but they were cool about it. And yeah, definitely, I think it's one of the biggest mysteries on the show, that if Javi was alive or not, because we literally didn't get anything, any news, no Easter eggs, no nothing about Javi. So definitely that it was definitely kept under wraps, very, very safely. But it's good. Now I can actually post stuff on my social media about the behind the scenes and everything. So I don't have to keep anything under wraps anymore. I don't have to worry about spoilers. So yeah.
That's fantastic. And, I think we all felt like Ty and this look on her face right here, this shock of oh my gosh, you're alive. So, great job keeping it under wraps. And Kaylee, thank you so much for popping on and asking your question.
Thanks for having me. It was great meeting you.
Thank you. You too.
All right. We'll talk to you later, Kaylee. Thank you. All right. Okay. First question. When exactly did you find out about Javi's season 2 storyline, and what was your reaction when you found out?
I think I found out was it October or was it November? Whatever. It was a while ago, like a lot of months back.
Okay.
And it was actually a really big shock. Like I mentioned, I didn't get any news about Javi being alive. Surprisingly, I didn't really hear anything about it until I got the script. So it was kind of a shock to me and my fellow actors, especially Kevin. Kevin was like, "He's alive? Let's go!" He's a great guy. I love him so much. And yeah, it was definitely a shock. Didn't expect it at all. Well, obviously, I really wanted to be back on the show. Such a great show, so many great people there. Yeah. But it was a big shock for me, my family, and the actors.
Yes.
Yes, I can imagine. So, what can you tell us about Javi's character journey this season now that we know he's alive, at least for now?
I can tell you he's probably traumatized. Like, he's been alone for quite a while in the forest. So, he's seen some stuff. I won't go too much into detail, but you can imagine the type of stuff he saw. Maybe he saw some of his friends, doing some stuff, But yeah, he's traumatized. I can't really say anything, but he's pretty shook.
Okay. I mean, I imagine. Did he eat the bear meat? Can you answer that question?
He ate something. But
he ate something. That is true.
He probably did.
He probably did. Okay.
I don't want to get in trouble, so he probably did. Yeah.
Okay. So we won't ask you then if you pooped in the pee bucket either then. Because that's kind of going around a little bit too. So
he'd have to be pretty sneaky to do that, I won't lie.
Right?
That's pretty hard to do with everybody in the cabin.
Yeah. Absolutely. Our friend Danielle on Facebook had a question. Do you read fan thoughts and theories about what happened to you out in the wilderness? And if so, what do you think is the craziest fan theory that you've heard?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of theories on the Reddit. After every episode, I like to go there and see what happens with the Reddit and see all the new theories and everything, especially with the latest episode, 204. Like I just had a big smile on my face every time I saw like a Javi theory. I was like, whoa. One of the craziest ones, I think, it was actually pretty big. Like when season 1 ended, that Javi was the bear. Like he was the bear that Lottie killed.
Yeah.
I don't know how they got that. Like he was a whole bear. I don't know how they got that, but hey, go for it. Nobody, go for the craziest theories you can find. It really doesn't matter, does it?
A lot of people thought Javi was Adam too for a long time, and that has been debunked since then.
I thought so too.
Oh, you thought so too. You
I think that was the plan originally. I think
that
was the plan originally, but somewhere along the lines they decided, nope, he's not Adam, and let's rewrite a story and make it more interesting, which I'm thankful for.
Right.
Of course. All right. So will we find out more about why Javi was so scared and didn't seem to recognize Travis after Van and Ty found him?
I think a lot of it comes with the trauma. I said, he probably has seen some stuff and he probably doesn't want to be around a group of cannibals, like I wouldn't want to be around a group of cannibals either. No, probably not fun.
Yeah.
So I think he's just really scared because he hasn't been around them for months. He knows they're bad people. Well, not inherently bad people, but they have to do what they have to do. But Javi's a kid still, in his eyes, he sees something bad and he's like, they're bad, right?
Yeah.
And he's just scared and he probably thinks of them like monsters. You don't see a person as a person when you see that they do something bad, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
He probably sees them as monsters. My brother Travis, what can I say? I don't want to spoil anything, so I'll just say that he sees them as monsters for now.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. Yes. Do you have any crazy theories about the show? Like things, you haven't received scripts yet, I would assume, for anything past season 2. So just personally, do you have any crazy theories about the show?
Oh, I don't think I can answer that question, to be honest. There's a lot of stuff that happens in the later episodes, like a lot. And if I were to give any theories about season 3, I might be revealing some stuff. So
Okay.
You guys are gonna have to watch and find out, but I can confirm that there is a lot of crazy stuff, like a lot of upsets.
What are 3 words you'd use to describe season 2 from what you know of it?
Shocking, suspenseful, and crazy.
Okay.
Those are all good words.
Excellent. Excellent.
Let's see. What has been your favorite part about being a part of Yellowjackets?
Definitely the crew and the cast. I just love being around those people, especially Kevin. He's such a nice guy, like I mentioned. We actually went to Disney when I was in LA for the red carpet, so that was a lot of fun. I've never been to Disney, so having to share that memory with him was definitely memorable. And all the actors are so nice. They're such nice people. The crew is amazing. I've never been on a show this large of a scale, so going to set and like seeing the whole like the forest and the cabin built like almost like a replica as the one in the place that we filmed in season 1, if that makes sense. It was just crazy to see everything, and it's definitely surreal to see all these people like they're contributing, and it's crazy.
Yes, definitely. What do you think has been the most challenging scene for you to film overall, season 1 or season 2? If you can tell us from season 2, most challenging overall.
Most challenging. There is a scene of Javi in the later episodes that was definitely a lot like really challenging. Again, I can't say anything without spoiling, so
Right.
I'm sorry.
How about season 1? How about season 1 most challenging?
Season 1, definitely when my dad died. Like I was like, I think the entire day I was screaming, "Dad, Dad!" My throat was sore. It was definitely something, and that was pretty challenging because screaming all day is pretty hard.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay. Do you have a favorite character or a favorite episode of the show?
My favorite character is Jeff. He's Warren does such a good job at Jeff. It's crazy. My favorite episode is 201, just because of the moment where Jeff is inside his car and he goes, "Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort." I love that scene so much. And he's definitely my favorite character. After Javi, of course. Javi's my favorite.
Of course, obviously. Yes, we're big fans of Warren and Jeff's character as well. That Papa Roach scene was absolutely incredible. You are correct. Quick question. Oops, wait. From Amy here in the comments. Will we find out more about the Martinez family, especially specifically your parents?
We haven't seen much. We haven't seen anything about them in season 2 so far. So I'd say it's a safe bet to not to assume that there's not much about them in the future as well. But probably not. Without spoiling anything, probably not.
Okay, all right, that sounds good. So you're actually from Vancouver and you film in Vancouver. So what are some of your favorite things to do while you're up there working? Are you hanging out with some of the cast? I know, you said you and Kevin hang out. What do you like to do when you're not filming?
I like to stay home a lot. I'm kind of a shut-in, but it's all right. I like to stay home, relax. I do school as well, so homework, which is not very fun, but whatever. I have to stay home and just do my stuff. But sometimes I like to go out with my family, have a nice dinner, and everyday regular people stuff. Like
right.
You play soccer, right? You're big into
I play
soccer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What position do you play?
I play striker. It's funny because when I first started filming, like I was telling my mom, like I play soccer, so I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna use my skills. I'm gonna be fine. But no, I haven't used any soccer skills so far. So yeah.
Ironic that it's a show about a girls soccer team and you're not showcasing your soccer skills. Well, you and Kevin are both athletes. He's a figure skater and you're a soccer player. And we'd actually talked to Kevin before about you guys, and he had said you have a brotherly relationship. You said you guys went to Disneyland. How do you find him, as a role model? What are some of the qualities that, kind of solidify your relationship, your working relationship and personal relationship?
He's taught me so much about acting, and he's really just made me a better actor in general. The whole cast did, but him especially. He's taught me a lot of things. He's just been a great role model. Just teaching me how to be a better man as well, which is
Aw.
kind of crazy. But yeah, I mean, he's such a great person, and I really admire him. He's definitely a role model for me. Yeah.
Oh, love that.
So, did you attend studio school on set? And if so, was it difficult balancing work and school and trying to be a normal teenager?
Yeah. So I had to do 3 hours minimum a day on weekdays, so Monday through Friday, and it was definitely hard because the times I wasn't filming on any scenes, I was doing schoolwork, and I had to bank hours, which is basically like going over the limit. So the next day I don't have to do any school, so I can just, it's a complicated system, but basically I was doing a lot of school, and it's hard balancing it. It's really hard because acting already is pretty mentally draining. Like having to do all the scenes, especially in this show, it's pretty intense. So it was definitely hard, but I got through it. So, doesn't kill you, makes you stronger. And yeah.
Right. Do a lot of your friends at school watch the show? And, do you get recognized when or do you also attend regular public school as well when you're not filming? So, I mean, do your friends watch the show? Do you get a lot of feedback and recognized a lot?
Yeah, my friends watch the show, and I don't get recognized, but when they find out I'm an actor, like I do get recognized. So it's pretty surreal because like all these people that I've never met are like, "Yo, what's up?" And I'm like, "Damn, they know me." And and they always ask me like, I remember before 204, they were always asking me, "Yo, is Javi live? Is he live?" I was like, "Bro, I can't tell you. I'm sorry." But yeah, they watch the show, and it's pretty surreal.
Yes, I imagine. Oh my goodness. Do you have a hype up song you like to listen to before filming? When we talked to Kevin, he said he had an Ed Sheeran song that he liked to listen to. Do you have a song like that, a like walk up song or your hype song?
That's actually a good idea. I don't have any hype up song, but that's actually a pretty good idea. I might use Papa Roach's "Cut My Life into Pieces." That song, I might use that song, honestly.
Right. Oh, nice little
Good
Jeff
song.
inspo. That's cool.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, this is a good question here in the comments. Most of the ladies are older. Was it harder, acting with older women? Granted, most of them, are in their like early 20s, so not like,
Yeah,
old, but older than you, of course. Was it?
Yeah.
What was the dynamic like being one of the younger people on the set? Or the youngest?
There was a lot of love, so they were treating me very nicely. I have nothing bad to say about them. They're all very kind and super nice to me. They taught me a lot about acting as well. Well, not directly, but just from me watching them, taught me a lot. And it was fine for the most part. It wasn't really much of a struggle, and it's definitely nice having a guy that I can relate to, like Kevin, like our brotherly love. So it was definitely nice to have him around on set, so I have somebody to talk to and everything. But other than that, yeah, they're all super nice.
So what was it like on your first day on set for season 1 in comparison to your first day on set for season 2?
It was very different because on season 1 we filmed like in an actual forest, but season 2 we filmed in a studio. So just seeing like the big studio and like all the fake trees, the fake cabin, like all perfectly replicated, it was crazy. The studio is massive, and all the fake snow is it was a lot to take in. It was definitely crazy. And they have like this fake snow that gets everywhere. Like there was a bunch in my sock, a bunch in my shoe. So I would get home, I would take my shoes off, and I would have the fake snow all over my house. I was like, what? Yeah.
That's funny. They did such a great job with the set design and building that whole sound stage. I mean, it really looks exactly like season 1. Like props, like you said, to the entire crew for pulling off such an amazing feat.
Here's another question. Is Javi still Javi, or is he possessed?
Javi is definitely still Javi. He might be possessed. He's traumatized. But Javi is Javi. He's Javi. Javi is Javi.
All right. I like that. A lot of people have been saying, is he possessed by the spirit of Cabin Daddy, for instance?
He might be. He might not. But Javi as a body and as a person, he's still there.
So he's not a ghost.
I get in trouble if I say anything, so
Hey, no, all good, all good.
I'll just shrug. You guys
Okay.
are gonna have to find out.
Yes, we will. We can't wait. Our friend Phoenix wanted to know, are you working on any other projects? And have you found since Yellowjackets that you've been getting more calls and more interest for work?
Yeah, definitely a lot more calls and a lot more auditions coming in. I don't have anything lined up currently. I've been just focusing on school. I've missed a lot of it because I was filming, going to LA for the red carpet, all this stuff. So missed a lot of school. So right now I'm just focusing on that. During summer break, I'll definitely try to pick up something, but at the moment, nothing planned.
Right. What grade are you in?
I'm in 10th.
10th grade. Okay, sophomore. So you should be getting your driver's license maybe in like next year.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. That's awesome. Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I have 2 brothers and 1 sister. I'm the youngest.
Oh,
You're
very
the
nice.
youngest?
Very nice. Claudine Purdue wanted to know, what is the fake snow made of?
It's funny, there's 2 types of fake snow. The first one, I don't know what it's made out of, but it's like the one they use on the ground and the ground. Yeah, it's just a snow they use on the ground. And then the second type of snow is made like from like this soap thing. You know how the soap bubbles are like white? So they use something of that element. And that's the snow that they make fall from the sky, so it looks like it's snowing.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Are there any like pranksters on set? Did you ever get pranked? Like, who's the funny one? I mean, we see all these Instagram stories with, like Samantha Hanratty seems like she's got quite the personality. I mean, it must be fun working with her and the rest of the girls, right?
Yeah, it's definitely Samantha. She's a handful. She definitely, yeah. Without her, the set feels a little bit dead, really. And she's just definitely she makes everybody laugh, and it's just always great to have her around. She makes everybody feel comfortable and super entertaining, like in a good way.
Yes.
So she's definitely like always there, making people laugh, making sure no one's bored, and yeah.
Right. Oh, Michelle wanted to know, did you find it difficult to act cold when working on a warm soundstage?
Yeah, it was a first. I've never been on a show that I've had to act cold before. Shocking. But yeah, it was definitely a first. I got some great direction from the directors, so I got the hang of it after a little bit. But at first, I didn't know what I was doing, but I got better. So yeah.
Overall, what would you say is your favorite experience, memory, your favorite overall thing having been a part of Yellowjackets?
Just being around such great people has just been great, really. Yeah, I mean, everybody's so amazing. Everybody's just such great people, and they taught me so much and made me a better person. So I can't be more thankful for that. It's been amazing to have them.
Aw.
We have Claudine again saying he saw what happened the night Jackie died, I'll bet. That's what I'm thinking too.
Mm-hmm.
He walked in on some crazy stuff and it scared him enough that he didn't want to go back. I know you can't tell us, but
maybe into the meat shed and he saw Jackie with the makeup on her and is like, what is going on here? I mean,
that is pretty funny. Yeah, I can imagine Javi being like, what the hell is going on? Because he wasn't there when Jackie died. He was already gone.
That's true.
Right.
So, I can just imagine Javi being like, what the hell? What is this?
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. Yeah.
That's so true. He wasn't there when she died, unless he was, and he just didn't make himself known.
Possibly.
Yes. Well, we're pretty excited to see how your character's story continues throughout season 2. Is there anything else, that you'd like to share that we didn't ask you about your experience so far with season 2?
I mean, it's a crazy season. There's so much that happens in the later episodes, and it's definitely worth watching. Like I'm not getting paid to say this. Nobody has told me to say this, but as a viewer and as a watcher, it's a crazy season. It's crazy. even my brother's addicted to the show. Every time a new episode comes on, he's like, "We gotta watch it. We gotta watch it." And I'm just sitting there like, smiling whenever I know something big is gonna happen. Like for example, on 204, when Van and Taissa were gonna find Javi, I was just sitting there smiling, and then my brother was like, "Wait, why are you smiling?" And I was like, "Well, I can't tell you, man." But yeah.
We found that moss situation, like the melting snow, to be very interesting. And we were speculating, whether or not it was just your body heat from having laid there, or, were you surviving in an underground mine? We know you can't say, but we are Team Bunker. We believe there's some kind of underground situation. So we're excited to see whether or not that comes to fruition.
I mean, yeah, there's been some like flashes of like an underground tunnel and everything. It's definitely not far-fetched to think about that. I mean, yeah, Javi could have been there. I mean, where else would he stay, right? If it's not in the cabin, he had to stay somewhere. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he's just a ghost and he's dead. Who knows? But it's not far-fetched to think that. Definitely not.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, Luciano, we cannot thank you enough for taking the time to join us and answering our questions. And we're so excited to see what happens in season 2 with your character, and maybe even more seasons, which again we know you can't say, but we hope that Javi lives on throughout. So
yeah, I have a theory about him as an adult, so I'm really hoping that he makes it out of the woods.
I could actually maybe play his adult, like in 3 years from now when I'm like 19 and I grow a full beard and I'm old. I could probably play as adult, probably, if he survives that long. Who knows?
I mean, you've gotten taller. Your character, that's another thing people have been saying, right? It's like you've grown. I mean, you're a teenager. You're growing. So, from season 1 to season 2, like how much have you actually grown?
Like 6 inches, I think.
Wow.
I'm almost as tall, or if not taller than Kevin now, which is kind of crazy.
Wow.
I'm one of the tallest on the set. When I came back for the first episode, not the first episode, but episode 204, everybody's like, "Wow, you grew so much, Jesus!" And I was like, "Yeah, man. I mean, that's how things happen. I grow. I'm a teenager."
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I think we speak for the entire fandom when we say we're so happy that Javi is alive. We're so glad to see your face in the show. And again, we're excited to see what happens in season 2. So Luciano, again, thank you so much for joining us. And maybe we can touch base a little later in the season when we get some more Javi news.
Yeah, of course. Anytime. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Right. Awesome. Of course. Thank you, Luciano.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Guys, have a good night.
You too. Thank you. All right. Well, gosh, that was certainly fun.
Yeah, that was so fun.
Oh, we have, let's see, what is this one? Thank you, Luciano. We're glad to have you back. We sure are. We are so glad that Javi is alive. Michelle, so happy to have you alive and back on our screens. Let's see. At this point, Javi would only trust Travis and Shauna. I mean, right? Shauna's the one that told him to run.
And she also gave him the piece of paper and the knife to carve the wolf too. So they kind of have some form of a relationship already. I mean, more so her than with anybody else, because honestly, it doesn't seem like anybody even really cared that he wasn't there besides Natalie and Travis.
Right.
So, and when they found him, Mari is more concerned with Lottie being right than the fact that Javi's actually alive.
Yeah, you know what? Let's look at the look on Mari's face. Oh my God. Mari, cabin Karen. And, Emily, you were right about something too. The symbol map. You had talked about how, Ty was sleepwalking to the symbols with the trees and that they're all going to lay out into this map of the symbol. This photo comes from our friend Jamie on Twitter, some behind the scenes from the symbol map. So yeah, all of those points ended up getting connected and the symbol lays out. So
yep,
that's fascinating. And what is down on the symbol where Van and Ty were looking for Javi, right? Does that mean that that's where one of the hatches is to the underground bunker? Are there tunnels that are connected that, coincide with the symbol? I mean,
they've seen more than one tree that has this moss and like melting snow, right? There hasn't only been one, right?
Right. I think that the one that Nat was checking out in the first episode of season 2 was somewhere else. It seemed like it was kind of up on a hill.
Yeah.
Whereas this time it seemed like they were just kind of in the middle of the forest. So
Yeah.
I do think it's multiple tree stumps. And then the initial tree stump, Lottie put the bear heart in. I believe that's a separate one as well. Although we haven't seen that one. Actually, that's where Lottie went to do her sacrifice, but there was no melting snow there. So, but you know what was there was a ghost plane.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, we're going to have so much more to recap on this episode. Of course, we're going to do our full episode recap this week. We got some answers to things. Of course, Javi is alive. Sleepwalking Ty made the shape of the symbol. We saw a peek at Jessica Roberts again, which is fascinating. And like my big question about that is going to be, Ty went to her apartment house and broke in, but if she was dead, wouldn't her house have already been packed up? Like, how much time has passed since she got poisoned and her death? Like, you would think that someone in her family would have packed up her stuff. So anyway, we can dive more into that whole thing. And the road trip, Misty and Walter and Shauna. I mean, there's just
Shauna and Callie.
Yes. Oh my God. I don't think that the police officer with the mustache will be making it through the season. Like, I just can't
have
see
a
it happening.
bad feeling based on the previews for next week that Callie opens her mouth and she opens her mouth to that police officer and tells him something that's gonna really implicate her mom, like big time. I don't think she's gonna mean to do it because obviously she doesn't know this guy is a cop, but I think that there's a really good chance that could happen. And like, isn't he breaking some kind of a rule by like buying an underage girl a drink, like in a bar, like even if you say that's a witness, like there has to be some kind of law that would make that like not stand up in court if it was used or something like that.
I mean, there's got to be like there's a right way and a wrong way to do things, and that seems like the very wrong way to me.
Yeah.
Michelle pointed out it's only been a few days, I think, still since she died. Okay, that makes sense because the adult timeline was pretty tight from where they left off in season 1, so that makes sense. But Amazing Ty just like knew where to find the key and all that. Our friend,
she was in her like fugue state too, and she still did it. Like that was really creepy when she like walked in and was like watching herself like walk around the apartment and do everything that she was doing.
Yeah,
that really creeped me out.
The sleep driving is very alarming to me. Like, how do you even drive like in another state? I mean, it goes to show that other state is obviously very high functioning in order to be able to pull off any of that stuff. But
yeah,
gosh. And then our friend Keith, bored now. It was good to see Laura Lee. She's pretty underrated, and her influence even from the grave is big.
Oh yeah, for Lottie, like for sure.
I mean, first we saw Demon Laura Lee last time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, in the underground mall vision this time.
That was crazy. Like, her visions are becoming so much more intense and vivid and, like, realistic to her in both timelines. Like, we see her having visions in both timelines. Granted, I think the visions that she's seeing in the teen timeline are a little bit more drastic than the ones she's seeing in the adult timeline right now. But she's still having visions in both timelines.
Yes, she sure is. Oh, so Cheryl Houghton saying, but was that in her house or Jessica's? I thought it was in Jessica's because I thought they had showed a flash of a photo on the wall with Jessica in it with like a family member or something. So I did think it was inside Jessica's house because she picked up the key from under the mat.
And the mail, and Jessica Roberts' mail was there and she was looking through her mail.
Right.
So.
Yep. That is true. Oh, Vine. Someone on Twitter mentioned that the mall scene reminded them of the tea party scene of Alice in Wonderland. And now I can't stop thinking that Misty's hair looks like the Queen of Hearts.
Oh my gosh, it does. It really does.
Gosh. And of course, the Queen of Hearts figured heavily into the last episode as well, with the eyes crossed out. Somebody had said, or was it the person that emailed us, Danielle, I think, that mentioned that the baby maybe is born with no eyes, which I hadn't thought of before.
I can't remember who said that.
Right. So, I mean, the Alice in Wonderland, though, that is a really interesting comparison. I like that. Oh, yes. Kimberly. Hi, Kimberly. How's it going? Yes. Jessica and her mom on the wall. So, yes. Okay.
And then Dustin just said, wasn't the Queen of Hearts, what were the eyes were blacked out? Yeah, the card that Lottie saw in her vision, the eyes were most definitely blacked out.
Right. Sure. And Shelley, Laura Lee looked like Alice. She did, because she had that headband on. That is a really fun comparison.
And her hair looked different too. Like she had bangs in this vision and she didn't have bangs when she was alive. So that's kind of weird.
Right. And, Michelle said it just as I thought it. Of course, Lottie's down the rabbit hole. I was going to say it's like she went down a metaphorical rabbit hole. Laura Lee has the headband like Alice. Also, did you notice that Van had no scars? You know what? I was not paying attention and did not notice that. Really good pickup, Michelle. I like that.
I did not. I will have to go back and look again.
Oh, and what is this question from Lindsay? I feel as though the teen girl could be Nat and Travis's daughter. The teen girl, Lisa? Lisa, I think, is a little older than a teen. I think she's like 24 or 25. I think because Nicole Maines is like around that age. But I don't know what other teen girl, but
I thought she was like in like her like early to mid 20s.
Yeah.
Lisa.
Yep. Definitely. There's definitely something going on with Lisa, though, because why is she getting so much screen time, right?
She is getting a lot.
Like, there's got to be a reason for it.
Unless it's just to further Nat's plot line in some way, like, and to show that Natalie is changing because, like, she's already different from the way she was last season. I mean, in this episode alone, like, her and Lisa are at a bar and she's about to take a shot and she pushes it away and says she doesn't want to die today. So like, ooh, it is thundering really loud here. Sorry.
Oh gosh, it's okay. Hopefully your power doesn't go out.
Yeah.
Let's see. So Michelle, Lisa is who they mean. It's a theory all around that she's one of the girls' kids. Yeah. I mean, I think she could just be a regular person. And we saw her mother in the last episode. Granted, it could be her adoptive mother, but yeah, there's a lot of red herrings, as we know.
Yeah, because some people have also been saying that she could be Travis and Lottie's daughter.
Yeah.
Because we're already seeing Travis lean into Lottie in the teen timeline as it is now. And I have a feeling that once Natalie's lie comes into play about the fact that Javi was dead, that's going to push him more towards Lottie even more. And he's really going to start believing in a lot of what she says and she does.
Yeah, I can completely see that. Drew Morris, I love Lisa. I hope she becomes a long-running character. Same. I think Nicole Maines is just doing an awesome job. Yeah. Our friend Kelly McClure, I believe, is going to be interviewing her at some point. So that's exciting. Mm-hmm. So we'll definitely make sure we share that on our social media. Let's see. Shelley, I hate that for Nat. She did what she did with the best of intentions. Yes.
Yeah. I agree that her intentions were good, but at the same time, I don't think it was her place to do that. I don't think it was her place to take away that hope from him. I just feel like it was unfair. And like, we've talked so much about her being the moral compass, and this is like the first decision that she's made that like I don't agree with. Like up to this point, I get it, but like I don't agree with it at the same time.
And there's going to be some fallout from that. I mean, obviously, like, you know, Travis is first like taking in that Javi's alive, but like once he starts processing and realizes, wait a minute, like just a week ago, you know, I saw this bloody pair of cargo pants. What's going on, Nat? Like, I can see her just kind of like slowly backing away. Yeah. Lindsay's asking, what do we all think the note Travis left saying Nat was right meant? That's a hard one. A hard one.
I used to think that it meant that, like, before we knew everything we know now, I used to think that it meant tell Natalie that she was right, that Lottie's still alive, because that was back when, like, we didn't know if Lottie was alive or dead in the current timeline. So, yeah.
Right. I mean, there are so many things. But It was really fun being able to chat with Luciano tonight. I think that him making the time to join us on the week where we found out Javi's alive is just so cool. Oh my gosh, Emily, is your like house
So
still
loud.
standing over there? Oh my God, that's
Yeah.
like incredible thunder. Like, oh my God. But yeah, we had a really great time talking to Luciano. We're actually going to have Nuha, who plays Crystal, on next week in the Hive After Dark. So definitely don't miss that. We're so excited to have the opportunity to speak with some Yellowjackets cast members. Thank you all. See, people love the thunder, Emily. Look at the comments. James, I love thunder. That thunder sounds exciting. It does sound exciting. Emily, are you in Florida? It looks like
Yes.
Lindsay must be
I'm in Florida.
also. Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, so Vine is so excited for Nuha next week. Us too. We literally cannot wait. She looks like so much fun, right? Her and Sammi Hanratty just look like they have like the best time together on
Yeah.
set.
And they're super close, like in real life too, which I just think makes it even cuter, like that they have such a good relationship on the show. I mean, if you can define like Misty having a relationship with anyone is good, but you know what I mean.
Yes. And Misty and Walter. Like, I just want to say I love Walter. I love him and Misty together. I want nothing more than for them to like hook up. I love Elijah Wood, and I just think he's really bringing a lot to the Walter character.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, let's get off. You've got a thunderstorm to deal with over there. And again, we'll be doing our full episode recap this week. Join us. Thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate you consuming our content.
Yes. So until we spill again.